I can already picture some of you rolling your eyes. They went to Cinque Terre. How cliché. Well, we are in Liguria already. Are we supposed to just skip all these uber photogenics? No. While we have come here once before, we did not make a video, so here we go. Hi everyone, thank you for visiting. As promised in our last video on West Liguria, link is in description below. This is the second one of 3 videos we made on our trip. And yes, Cinque Terre is an east part of Liguria. Because we drove here, we're not staying in any of the 5 villages. Driving and parking there is not a good idea. The hotel that fit our budget and general requirements happened to be in a town of Sestri Levante, which has excellent restaurants and train station from which there is an easy connection to the 5 towns. Cinque Terre of course means 5 lands or villages. They have become famous after American travel writers discovered and promoted these ambient and jewel-like towns perched in the luscious greenery of the rocky hills that are rising out of the gorgeous blue Mediterranean Sea. I mean, for those of you, and you know who you are, who are obsessed with photos, this is the place. The last 4 years that we live in Europe, we cannot think of a place where we face so many American tourists. It was a bit surreal. But it is still post-COVID, and while it was crowded, I would not call it overcrowded. If you do plan to come here, and it is full-blown no more COVID in the world, including Asia, please avoid coming here July to early September. It just gets too crazy. Now, let's get to it. We are buying rail tickets that will allow us to use the train all day long between our base in Sestri Levante and La Spezia, which includes all 5 towns. We decided to go to the farthest town first and visit all 5 towns as follows: Riomaggiore, Manarola, Corniglia, Vernazza, and finally Monterosso. After delayed express train and delayed regional train, we finally arrived in Riomaggiore. So this town is a nice preview of what to expect. Pretty pastel-colored houses of many shades, but not necessarily shapes. It's actually lunchtime already, and we don't feel like sitting down for an hour or so at a restaurant, so instead, grabbing a quick snack to sustain us. Next town is Manarola, and it's actually only about 500 meters away, and I agreed to walk such a distance only to find out that the paths are closed for maintenance, so back to the train. So the picture we all have in mind is Manarola. If for some reason you are short on time and cannot hit all 5, you gotta hit Manarola. So without further ado, the less said, the better. Next town is Corniglia. This town we definitely skipped last time because I would have remembered that the train does not take you to the town. You have to walk up the high hill or you can take a small bus. This town is very small, yet pretty and charming. And because it sits up above on the hill, it has no direct sea access. It does offer, however, very dramatic views of the sea and the surrounding terrain. we are moving on to Vernazza. I would say this is the second prettiest town of the 5. With a very nice piazza right adjacent to wild bathing facilities where tourists soak up the sun and try not to get smashed by the waves against the rock formations. There is also some sort of an ancient castello with no historical references that we climbed just because. The final 5th town is Monterosso. I would call this town least like the other 4. It is more of a real town with cars driving around. There are also beaches where you can rent a beach bed and umbrella. Town itself is very pretty. I think if I wanted to stay in Cinque Terre, this is the town I would choose. We have one more episode to release from this trip, and we will cover Portofino and Santa Margherita Ligure, so please stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. If so, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so yet. Arrivederci!